Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. It's the Sheffield United preview. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're nearly at the 2K mark, which is going to be absolutely massive for us. And definitely get involved in the comments section. All the different topics we're talking about. And if you do want to get involved, then just drop us an email or message us on Twitter. It's in the description to the video. If you want to get involved, come on the podcast or get involved in some of the written work that we do as well. So drop the video a like as well. I've brought the A game in a jacket today. Ryan done me over last week with his training drill top, so I thought I'm going to come with a big gun today. He's obviously sporting another purchase as well. So what you got on there, Ryan?
To be fair, it's from an absolute dog shit season, the season we got relegated. But I don't know, I quite like this shirt. I think it's because I bought it in long sleeves. It's the first one I've ever had in a long sleeve, so I quite like the claret on it as well. And there's a few positives from that season, isn't there? That Grealish's first goal against Leicester and Gested's header against Blues. So yeah, that's it's quite tidy.
Brilliant stuff. So obviously we're all buzzing, beating Leeds yesterday. For whatever reason, it's nice to get one over on them especially. And I do remember in the week, actually, I forgot to mention this last night, that Ryan was having a little chat and Ryan was like reading through some of the comments we were getting in. He was going, "We're going to shithouse them 1-0. He went and put a bet on 1-0. Obviously, he's 150 quid. So you buzzing about that as well?
Yeah, back on form, mate. Back on form. I did scroll through them comments last night after I had a few beers, trying to find them, but I couldn't find them to reply. But yeah, cracking, mate.
They were pretty quiet on the last video as well.
I think the internet's down in Yorkshire, isn't
it? Definitely. So let's just briefly mull over that one as well. Seb, day after the game, what are your vibes on it now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still as buzzing as I was when I spoke to you yesterday. It was a great result, and it probably an unexpected one as well. I think the first game this season, that the majority of us Villa fans have gone into it not really expecting anything. I think we knew it wasn't our best team, but you wouldn't have seen that from a neutral's perspective. I mean, we were brilliant all over the park. Marvellous Nakamba, proving almost undroppable with his performance. Jacob Ramsay, another one coming through the youth ranks who fitted in straight away. I mean, we played well all over the park and we stopped them from what they did best. They are known for attacking football and we completely nullified that. So we played well to a T.
It was great. It was, looking at some of the stats from the game as well. And I didn't realise that we hadn't lost the game that Nakamba's played. I just feel, what a stat that is, we're getting some questions that we're going to go through at the end of this episode that are coming through, like saying, does Nakamba need to start again? And I'm just like, definitely, like, there's no doubt in my mind that Nakamba starts the next game after that performance. I think he warrants that place now. And Justin, talk to me a little bit about Jacob Ramsay's performance last night.
Yeah, I think he just shows maturity, doesn't he? I think that's why Smith trusts him so much to come in. I mean, I think we all knew there was going to be midfield changes for the game. And I think if it had been most of us picking that team, we'd have probably gone with the experience of Sanson, big money signing, a lot of big reputation. We're looking to change the midfield. So it was sort of, for me, obvious to chuck Sanson in, but, it just shows how much Smith really, really likes Jacob Ramsay, to throw him in to a tough game like that away from home against a team like Leeds who normally dominate midfields, against everybody. Doesn't matter who they play against. It's phenomenal to come in. I mean, I don't think he was outstanding. I think he would have been really pleased with his performance. But it just shows that he's going to be a really, really good player. If he's putting in those kinds of performances now at that age, then he's only going to improve the more he plays. And I think that's why Smith likes to put him in so often, because he just sees a player that in 12, 18 months' time, he'll be potentially one of our best midfielders. He likes to get on the ball. He's very progressive when he takes the ball on. He's always looking for a forward pass. These are all qualities nowadays in the Premier League that you have to be a top midfielder, and to have them at his age is phenomenal for us as a club. We've got 2 or 3 other lads coming through as well. that are starting to make the squad and on the bench. So it just bodes well for us in the next 2 or 3 seasons, that whilst we have got good owners that are going to spend big money on players, it's just as important to bring the youth through as well.
Brilliant. I'm just really looking forward to seeing him develop in a Villa shirt. So up next, Sheffield United. They've lost their last 4 games. They've lost 21 games all season. They've won 3 games all season. Surely we're going to rock up there and put in a very dominant performance and again back the good win up that we had against Leeds, and hopefully, keep that European charge keep ticking over. Because for me, I'm going game by game. I'm not looking to the next game after Sheffield United. I'm not looking too far ahead. I'm thinking, let's just win your next one, keep it going, let's get some form momentum, and really take it to them. So, Ryan, how are you feeling about Sheffield United?
I actually think it's going to be a tough game, we are Aston Villa, remember? And I don't know, I have bad vibes against at Bramall Lane. Every time I've been there, we've lost or we've got hammered or knocked out of an FA Cup. So, but this is what we've got to start doing. We've got to start backing up our wins. So I fancy us. I fancy us to go there and grab a win.
We've just got to turn up there now and put in a dominant performance.
Yeah, definitely, because the players, especially Martinez, he has got elite mentality. And Tyrone Mings last night, did you hear him last night? For the speakers, he was absolutely awesome the way he was organising the team. Grealish were captain with his performances and skills. So we've got captains all over the pitch, and this mentality now has got to be the way forward for Villa. We've got to be looking at going to Bramall Lane and taking them apart. I think, I can't remember if it was a York interview or a Southgate interview where they said that Villa players in the past have always been happy to be safe and settled, never really push themselves. And we've got to start changing that mentality moving forward. And it starts now. There's no point in changing that mentality next season. It's got to be done now, hasn't it? So we're in a great position. What are we? 6 points off 4th. So we start now. We start looking to push for Europe. Why not?
Seb?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Ryan says. I mean, with your awful record at Bramall Lane, it's probably best that it's being played behind closed doors. Maybe we can get rid of that jinx. Look, I'm a very conservative person. There's no easy games in this league, and although they're rock bottom and they're really struggling, they're going to be fighting for their lives. Chris Wilder's no pushover. He's going to send them out to try and do a job on us. So I think it will be a difficult game. And typically, the games that Villa struggle with the most is the games where the teams sit back and almost soak up the pressure. If we're so good at playing a low block at times that we almost struggle when other teams play it against us. So yeah, it will be a difficult game, but hopefully one we can come out on top.
I do feel a bit sorry for Sheffield United because as a club, I don't mind them. I like them, and I feel like they have had a bit of a shocker. Do you know what I mean? Like they had a brilliant season last year, and then they've just splashed a load of cash on Brewster, and for whatever reason, it's just not worked out, has it? It's a lot of money for an unproven player in the Premier League. I mean, if you look at strikers like Watkins or Tammy Abraham, they've tore up the Championship. They've tore it up. They've scored goal after goal. And the vibe with him, I don't feel like he's scored the goals, and to have a striker like that and to rely on him, and it's just not worked out. And I feel a bit bad really for him. The start, we said before the season started that we was all about like, let's start the season well, let's get wins and the momentum will take us through. But with them, it's literally like it was loss after loss after loss, and it just becomes like a routine. And I think they hadn't won a game. They hadn't won in the first 11 games or something like that. So, they were just stuck in a rut. And to be fair, that they've gone through phases where they've started to play a little bit better. They're still very difficult to beat as well. So, like you guys are saying, it is going to be a difficult game. But I do feel a little bit bad for them as well. But my main focus now is my eyes are looking around that 6th spot. So, Justin, let's talk about Europe then. What sort of tally do we need to get anywhere near it then?
I've been looking at the tables today, and obviously what's gone on the last few seasons. If we just take last season as a sort of marker, to get top 4, it was 66 points. 2 teams finished on 66. So with what we're currently on, we would need another 27 points in the last 14 games, which is about 1.9 points per game, which is a tough ask, really, because once you get up around the 2 points per game mark, you're sort of talking that's championship form, really. So although we've had a very good season, it is going to be, it just shows the sort of how tough that'll be to try and get in that top 4. Top 6 last season was 59 points, which generally, looking back 3 or 4 seasons before that, it's sort of 60, can be 60 points. So that's, again, another tough ask, but more manageable for me. That puts us needing 20 points from the last 14 games, which is an average of 1.4 points per game. So if you take what we've done up to now into consideration, we are currently running at 1.6 points per game. So we are almost bang in the middle of those two.
Yeah.
Two sort of, it's difficult. We have had a bit of a lull, but we also have had periods when we've won games in succession. So, I'm on the fence. I think personally, top 6 is very achievable now from where we are if we carry on the form we're in. And I do, looking at those sort of figures and where we are and who we've got left to play, I've had a quick tally up, and I think we can. It's difficult. I think we'd have to win our next 3 to put us on a really good trajectory up into the top sort of 4 to 6 of the league. I got a quick sort of sum of 25 points from the last 14 games, trying to be as sort of fair as I can. Sort of Liverpool away, Man City not getting anything there. We have got some tough games. Again, I said the other week, we've still to play Everton twice and Spurs twice. Now, they're both really in amongst us. So that puts us on 64 points, which for me, based on last season and the previous seasons, will put us between 4th and 7th in the league, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. And if we were to have an amazing run, we could maybe push for top 4. But I think looking at what we've got, that would probably be unlikely.
Well, I'm going to get my passport out then. What are you saying, Ryan?
Yeah, let's get them flights booked, man.
I'm going to camp outside the airport, mate. I'm going. So it's just some stats from Justin. Like I say, I'd prefer to go like game by game and just try and win everyone we can. But,
just quickly, based on what I'm saying, I do think it's imperative if we are going to push for any kind of European football, we've got to win our next 3. I really think that.
Well, there's 3 winnable games, though, aren't they?
I agree, yeah, totally. Yeah.
United, Wolves at home, and Newcastle away.
Yeah.
I mean, get a bit of confidence now, some momentum, and just go for it.
It's certainly not out of the question.
No, definitely not. I think you can't rule it out. I think we've had a brilliant season, but we need to just capitalise on this.
Kick on, yeah. And Jack's back soon.
And just keep going for it. Well, one little point I want to pick up on as well. I think Ashley Priest tweeted it, saying that some of the things that Craig Shakespeare was saying yesterday. He was having a word with Nakamba before the game. He was shouting at McGinn to fall back into sort of like a centre back position. And I just want to mention how great I think he's doing at the minute. The job that he's done and the role he's had with everything that we've done this season. I think he's a brilliant coach, and from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing is he orchestrates us quite a lot from the touchline. He knows what's going on, and I just think he's just been an absolute brilliant addition. Martinez now 13 clean sheets. He's going after Friedel's record now. I'd love him to get this record. I think if we can get this clean sheet record, it's just going to be fantastic. I thought it was. Ryan mentioned his mentality, the goal kick mentality. He was feeling his groin, but he's still sticking in that goal, doing everything he can for the team as well. So what we're going to do now is just have a brief little chat about the Premier League table. Seb's got his main man, Scott Parker, at the minute, 3 points behind Newcastle now. So, Seb, do you feel like Fulham are going to survive?
If they'd have won today, they'd have put themselves in a better position. However, if you look at the teams in contrast, Brighton can't buy a goal if they tried. I mean, what's going on there is a shambles. I think Neil Maupay is having a really poor season and it's costing them. So if they get dragged into it, that's always a worry. Newcastle, Steve Bruce, I think the less said about him, the better. And yeah, everyone knows how I feel about Fulham and Scott Parker. I think they play good football. And if there is a team that's going to get out of trouble, I think it's going to be them.
Yeah, I think that it was looking at one point like the three that have been down there all season are just absolutely, going down. But now they've brought themselves closer to it now, Fulham, which is, it makes it a little bit more interesting down the bottom as well. And to be fair, from chatting to you quite a bit as well, I've warmed to Parker now. I think he's done a real good job, and I think he's a good manager and he's a young manager, and I think it's just great for the Premier League that there's a manager down there like that is succeeding, because it was looking at one point they were going to just get rid of him straight away, and I think they've stuck with him a little bit like what Southampton did last season as well, stuck by their manager and reaping the rewards really if they can stay up. So we're going to go to some of the fans' questions and the fans' thoughts, then I'll pass it around you all and, you can answer some of them. So Dave G has put confidence from the Leeds win, and in my opinion, a very good tactical win. Will be great going away to a side struggling. If we're to continue to prove we're a strong side without key players, this is a very good chance to, and the squad is an important fixture. The Nakamba effect and Andy Miller have both mentioned does Nakamba stay in the team, and does Grealish come straight back in? I'll give that one to Ryan. Does he come straight back in?
Really, I don't think you should change a winning side. So I'd stick with it, but there's a certain Jack Grealish that if he wants to play, he's playing. It doesn't matter if Dean Smith says no. I think Jack's in control of that one.
If he's fit, he plays.
Simple as.
He plays. Simon Mason's put leave Barkley on the bench or put him straight back in after his rest. Seb?
I think putting him straight back in would be a odd decision considering how well his replacements played. He's got to learn his lesson. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ross Barkley, but you can't keep making excuses for him. And if you look at the way that his replacement, Jacob Ramsay, played, you've got to say that he deserves to be in. If he was to be taken straight back out for Barkley, I think that would send the wrong message to the fringe players as to, well, what have they got to do to maintain a place?
Yeah. Jack Bennett's put, going to be tough as they are fighting for their lives, but if we work harder and maintain our intensity, I have no doubt about the 3 points. Same team to start for me, up the Villa. Laurie Jones has put, Tammy missing from the Chelsea squad. Surely we'd go for him in the summer. Justin, what's your thoughts on that? Tammy to Villa?
I'm massively on the fence with the Tammy to Villa thing. Obviously, the attraction of what he did when he played for us, and he's a very good player. I looked at his stats the other day, and his record's very good. Chelsea, I think it's 1 in 3, or better than 1 in 3 in the Premier League. Forget what he did in the Championship. That's top 5 football in a very good side. He's only 23, so we can improve him as well. If Wesley comes back anything like, then I don't think anybody would really not enjoy a Watkins, Tammy, Wesley as you 3 strikers to mix and match next season. We could go 2 up front. He gives us lots of options. Watkins can play off the flank as well. You can get 2 up top. It would give us a lot of options. The only way I don't see us not going for Tammy is if we go for someone that's, massively stratospheric, top European striker. He's in the next level down from that, obviously. So yeah, it would be a yes, unless we could get somebody better.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I love him. What he did for us in the Championship, amazing. But I'd like to think if we get him, it's for the fee that we want to get him for in that sort of way. I don't want to get him and have to pay and be mugged off, basically. Do you know
They're
what I
going
mean?
to want big money for him, though.
Yeah,
They're
and I
going to
just
want
think
big. That's what I'm saying. So if they're asking 50 million, for example, for me, you could add a little bit on top of that. You could go for one of the top European players, and if we get into Europe, especially, you can attract that bit.
How much
class
would you
up.
pay then, Justin?
I mean, if he was on for 30, just 30 or below, I think, if nothing was better available, I think you'd be mad not to go for him.
They're asking 40 million for Barkley right now. So putting that into context, then they'd probably be looking at about 60, 70 for Tammer.
Yeah. And I bet he's got a good contract still at Chelsea as well. So
they're
going to be asking for massive, massive money for him. So for that kind of money, if you're talking 60, 70, like I agree with you, right, and that's potential what they would be asking, you're better off going to Spain or to Italy and, getting one of the top European players in.
Yeah. Niles put, we're on a high after the Leeds game. We've been in that position that Sheffield United are in. We'll be lucky to get a result, or will it be a Villa goal fest? Ryan?
I don't think it'll be a goal fest. I think it'll be a tight one still. 1-0 maybe. I do think, though, Watkins' selfish performance again last night, I think now this little run of game is going to suit him. He can get back to being the 6-yard assassin. We get him more goal scoring chances. So yeah, I'm hopeful of a 1-0 win again. That's what I'm going to be backing anyway.
You're backing the 1-0?
Yeah.
I may know.
You need to just tell me every bet that you're putting on, and I'm just going to mimic everything that you do.
Normally, I'm absolutely mush with my bettings, but the last 4 games I've been on fire.
It's because you got a goal that you want to achieve. You want to get all these shirts, don't you? So you just
you know what you are, Ryan. You're the Al Ghazi of our betting team. You're in a purple patch.
Yes, keep me in the side.
Right, so let's go around the group then and score prediction for Sheffield United away. I'll kick us off with a 3-1 Villa win. Ryan?
Yeah, like as I said, 1-0 Watkins to bag.
Seb?
I mean, you've gone for goals. Ryan's gone more of a conservative look. I'm sure Justin will pull an 8-0 out the bag or something along those lines. 2-0. We'll keep a clean sheet. 2-0.
2-0. I'll take that. Justin?
Yeah, I think it'll be a professional performance. I'm sort of in the middle of what all you lot have said, really. I think we'll win the game. I don't see them scoring. The former in at the back. So 1 or 2-0, probably. Yeah, I'll go for 2-0 as well.
Buzzing. So that rounds us up today. Thanks for watching. If you want to get involved, again, drop the comments. Please subscribe. And yeah, let's hopefully we can get the win and keep getting these points. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.